On my website, michaelsavage.com, top right, college student wins stalking order against her parents. This is a shocker. A 21-year-old college student got so fed up with her protective parents that she sued them, and she won a civil stalking order against her parents and won. Now, her parents were paying over $60,000 a year for tuition at the so-called University of Cincinnati to study at the so-called College Conservatory of Music. So, in other words, she was learning how to pretend to be something at $60,000 a year. The parents, who lived 600 miles away, were afraid that she was out of control. They said that she was doing drugs, she was promiscuous, and so they installed monitoring software on her phone and computer. She complained to the school dean, whoever that would be. Dean today, you know, the dean is today. A dean is a degenerate that they couldn't get a job in a sex parlor. That's a dean. It's unbelievable what the college has become. I know I'm shocking you with it. You have no idea what cesspools universities have become. They put on clean outfits, but you have no idea what actually is stalking your children in colleges today. Nevertheless, she sues her parents. She wins a restraining order, even though they paid $60,000 a year for her to study how to be a pretender in the acting school, and she wins. And so the college, despite the parents, says, now we're going to pay the tuition because you're not paying it. That's what a wonderful student she is. Now, what kind of child would do this? But the punchline of this story is, which is amazing to me, is that people are blaming the parents for being overprotective. And then the idiot who wrote the article for the newspaper writes this, says, it's a signal to our society that things have gotten out of hand when they're monitoring their 21-year-old daughter's phone. Parents need to step back and let their kids make mistakes and find their own successes. I've heard that liberal crap ever since I've been 15 years old. Let me tell you about the kind of parents who let their children make mistakes and find their own successes. She's 6 feet under, and the child's name is Adam Lanza. That subhuman child killer who executed the children 2 weeks ago Friday in Connecticut was medicated, it came out today, since childhood. As I told you, it was the medication. It was the medication and the crazy mother. So there it is. Now let him find his way. Let him make his own mistakes. When you have a child who's crazy, when you have a child who's on drugs, when you have a child who's a slut, what you do is you try to control the child. But no. You see, the colleges need as many sexually promiscuous students as they can possibly get in order to foster the agenda. You don't understand what the agenda actually is. You think it's freedom. The opposite is true. It is not freedom that they're fostering, because as George Orwell said, the more I hear people screaming, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, the louder I hear their chains rattling. They don't want freedom any more than Karl Marx wanted the family unit to survive. Second story on michaelsavage.com. Oh, there's so many stories. It's just sickening. I can't even look at it. Here's another one. California sneaks in a new law last night to make it easier for lesbians to inseminate each other without any health checks. I don't know how else to put it. I have to translate it into English. I saw the story and I said, this makes no sense. It makes no sense. Look at the headline. Insemination rules will be eased by new law. And you say, oh, that's great. That's terrific. Wow, now they could just have babies without having to use any kind of medical checks. So now they can get the sperm from anybody that they want with no health tests whatsoever. See, under current law in the sickest state in the world, called California, under the goofball that runs it, any woman who wants to become pregnant with an acquaintance's sperm, you hear how they're putting it now, must verify his health and tests and undergo other procedures. But the radical lesbian feminists in San Francisco and elsewhere think that these rules are unnecessary, costly, and time-consuming, and so that process will now change in California. Because of a crackpot assemblywoman named Nancy Skinner, guess where she's from? Guess her party affiliation? Well, you guessed it, Democrat Berkeley, who introduced the legislation. These barriers are now reduced so that a woman can get the sperm from anyone that they wish. Someone in the gutter, someone in the street. They can put it in a jar. They can take it home. And if you think I'm making that up, these two lesbians chose a local gay Chinese man originally from Argentina, and he brought a glass artichoke jar with his sperm to their house, and Maybeck injected its contents into Maya with a syringe. In October of '04, at age 38, she gave birth at home to a daughter. I'm just showing you what the brave new world is becoming under the radical Democrat left.